And here he is, Mike Francesa, the man of the week with the million views that you got going on. How are you, Mike?
Sal, what's going on?
All right, how'd this thing come together with the Giants and Giants?
About 2 months ago, they asked me if I would do a podcast, Eli's podcast. And Eli and I have always maintained a good relationship. So they texted me and asked me if I would do his podcast. I said yes. They tried to pick a date where it both works because I'm away a lot this time of the year. I just came back from 2 weeks in Saratoga. And they then came up with this idea. Now, it was all them. Give them credit. It was Eli and his people, and they sent me the storyboards, and I loved it. I said, this is great. I'll do it. So before we did the podcast, we shot this thing in a couple of takes, a couple of different versions, but I knew it was going to do very well. I knew it was going to be good, and obviously it turned out very well.
Mike, I was shocked to see it. Not that I didn't think it would do well, obviously, but I was like, it caught me off guard, caught me by surprise because it's kind of out of nowhere, and it was great. Now, did you hear the caller? He happened to call the fan a couple times that day. He was awful. He didn't seem to be...
No, I didn't hear him. I was out of town. I didn't know. Right afterwards, I went right back out of town, so I wasn't aware that he called. Someone told me that he was on the fan, though.
Yeah, he called me and just had no interest. He didn't know what was going on. He had no idea who I was. Then he called Marash and Loogie, and understandably, he didn't know who those guys were. And
right.
then and he just didn't seem to have any fun with it whatsoever.
I'm surprised he knew who you were.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't. But he definitely didn't know who those guys were. Anyway,
I think the call was. I heard two versions that the call was either 2013 or 2015. I'm not sure which one was accurate, but it's funny. That call surprised me because it's the call that I think got the most reaction in the history of the entire fan. And it surprised me because at the time it was an odd call. And in the beginning I was like, what, is this guy serious? And then I started playing up to it and made a whole joke out of the whole thing. But I didn't think it was going to have the impact that it did, and it had incredible legs. And believe it or not, when I went in there to shoot this that day, and we shot it in the hotel where the Giants were staying because they were off that day, they're coming off losing 12 out of 14. They had just got beat by the Pirates. They flew in. They're playing the Mets the next day, and they were nice enough to do that, two of their biggest stars, and they couldn't have been nicer. And believe it or not, they knew of the call. So that thing has had incredible legs. They were well aware. They were thrilled to do it. Now, listen, it was Eli who put it together. I don't think anyone but Eli could have, or someone of his stature could have put it together where the Giants would have agreed. But the Giant players were thrilled to do it, and they were great sports about it. And it turned out really well. It really did.
You still have a good relationship with the Giants? We'll get to the baseball in a little bit. Where's your relationship with the Giants?
No, I don't. I don't, Sal. I have a good relationship with Eli. I don't have a good relationship with the Giants since the Gettleman days because I was very hard on Gettleman and very hard on a couple of their coaches. And listen, they were inept. And John got very upset with me. So, no, I don't think I think if I went there now, I would not be very welcome, to be honest with you. I haven't been in good favor. I used to have a great relationship with the Giants. I think now I would say I have a poor relationship.
Where do you think they're at going into the season here with Russell Wilson now?
I don't trust Russell Wilson anymore, but that's not the point. I think there's two things. Number one, the Giants could be 40% better this year, and it won't show up in the record. I've heard people recently when I've been in the car or driving around say that they don't think the schedule is as hard as it was made out to be. Well, I was one of the ones who made it out to be that hard, and I disagree completely. I think the schedule is brutal. And I'm going to tell you this. Schedules make a big difference because when you need that breather, when you need that bad team coming into your building and you're going to play at Kansas City, and then you got a trip to the Eagles, or you got the Eagles twice in 3 weeks, I think the Giants could be 40% better this year and it doesn't show up in the record. Here's what I'm worried about. Their defense is going to be improved. Obviously, their pass rush looks like it could be special. Let's see if it is. Their run defense leaves a lot to be desired. Let's see how that works out. The offensive line is a huge problem. And it remains, despite what they might say, despite anything, it's still with injuries, and I'm not going to get into particular things I've heard, but injuries and ineptitude, that offensive line is still a major, major problem for the Giants, and that will hold them back incredibly.
You believe in the head coach? I've been a backer of his. It's getting harder and harder to believe in him when he keeps
He's
coming
puzzled me. Now, I don't know him, and I've never sat down and had a talk with him in my whole life. I was impressed by his first year. He took a big step backwards, and I think what happened is his early success made him less tolerant to what happened afterwards. I think he thought he was going to be a real big success, and instead it backfired, and they made terrible decisions, and the organization made terrible moves, and they wound up with what they've been left with, and they are a long way from good. Now, I think they've improved the team this year. But let me ask you something. How does he judge? How does John judge? And he makes the football decisions. How does John judge whether he wants to keep the coach or not? Because they could have a bad record and still be improved. Now, here's why I think they actually bought themselves two bites at the apple. If they can win with the veteran quarterback, they stay. If they lose early, which I think is very possible, and get a bad record, then they go to the kid quarterback, and he shows anything, well, they're not going to want to change his coach and his coordinator and the whole system for him again if they found a guy they think is their future. So they get two bites at the apple this year if they play it right, even if they're bad. So I think that does give them a decent chance to come back.
Yeah, I thought if they're going to make a change with Dable and Shane, it should have been ahead of this year once they draft the quarterback.
Yeah, well, the Giants have done everything half-assed in recent years, and this made no sense again. Okay, let's be honest. But they're there now, and like I said, two bites at the apple. If they surprise because of their defense or Wilson plays well, okay, bingo. If not, and they get off terribly, and now Dart shows promise and a future, and now they get excited about him, they aren't going to, because they don't want to change him after 1 year and give him a whole new system and a whole new coaching staff and everything else, which will take him 2 years to learn. So I think they get two bites at the apple. One thing I love is I had two players that I always pick a couple of players all year that I love. One was the Penn State tight end, who I think is going to be a tremendous pro. I love him. Okay, but I understand why the Jets took the tackle. I was torn between taking the tight end and the offensive lineman. I was last year, too. And I said take the lineman last year out of Penn State, and I was wrong. They should have taken the tight end because he's a great player for the Raiders. Now, the other player is Scadaboo. I love Scadaboo, but here's already the problem. You can eat peanuts off Scadaboo's head. He's a little guy, okay? He's already getting hurt, which scares me. So they might have to really use him as a situational back, because I think he could become an incredible fan favorite and a very productive NFL player. I love that guy.
Yeah, I love to see them start running the football. I know everybody made a big deal about Daniel Jones and obviously now Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors. Build it inside out, run the football, and then build off of that.
I think they're going to throw it to Scadaboo a lot, too. I think you're going to see him catch the ball a lot.
What about the Jets? You think I know you're a big Parcells guy, and we're obviously you had a great relationship for years with Parcells.
That's pretty shot, too. So, I mean, you know, we've had off-ball and outs, too. But, I mean, we talk. We're just not as close as we were. He and I chatted a bunch of times in Saratoga. His box is right behind mine at Saratoga. You know that. You know where the box is. Yeah. His box is right behind mine. So we talk all the time. So our relationship is cordial. We're just not as close as we were. But he's very high on Aaron Glenn. And let me tell you this. Aaron Glenn is cut from the Parcells cloth. 100%. Now, what does that mean? That means certain things. Number one, they're going to play a field position game. Number two, you don't take the foot out of football, which means special teams matter a lot. Number three, they're going to run the ball. They are going to play close games. They are going to try and stay in games and win them close. They're going to run the ball a lot. He thinks he's got three backs, and he intends to use all three backs. I think they're going to be a run first team, a run second team, a pass third team. They're going to play predominantly low-scoring games, and I think they could be better than people think. Now, let me explain something to you. They had maybe the worst coaching staff I've ever seen, okay? And it got worse when they fired the coach because now you took manpower out of the defensive room and you gave a guy who had no idea what to do as a head coach the head coaching job. Woody made it even. Woody took a bad situation and made it 100 times worse, okay? So they were about the worst coach team I've ever seen. I know for a fact veteran players were like, this is a joke. This is a joke, what's going on here. That's how bad it was. And they didn't speak out, which I give them credit for. But some of the guys who were there last year who had been on good teams, who had been prominent players, were like, this is kindergarten. That's how bad it was. It will be completely different under Aaron Glenn.
You like Justin Fields?
Not particularly. I think he can make some big plays. I think he'll make some 50-yard runs for some touchdowns. And I think he is a well below average passer.
What about the defense? I've been saying for years, like I want Sauce Gardner to be great.
I think the defense is okay. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's as good as it was. I think the defense a couple of years ago was tremendous. It took a huge step back last year. I think it's going to be middle of the road. I don't think it'll be great. I think it'll be, in the 10 to 15 range.
You think Sauce Gardner is as good as everybody thinks and he thinks?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you with that. I know all the accolades. I mean,
I do not.
I've seen great corners in my life. He's not one.
I think he counts. I think he's too worried about his status in the league and too worried about his press clippings. I think he needs to play harder, and I think he needs to play the position as an all-pro corner does, which means you play the run and the pass.
All right, looking forward to football season. Although around here, as you know better than anybody.
So am I. I'm looking forward to football season a lot. I can't wait. I really look forward to football season. And I think the Giants are going to be improved, but I think the record's going to not show it. I think the Jets will be improved. I think the Jets will play very much vanilla football, though. I think the games will be very, 2017, 17-14 kind of games. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, but it's more always about the NFL around the league as opposed to here because these two teams usually stink by October. They're dead. I mean, hopefully this year we get them to November.
Yeah, I really had high hopes for Aaron Rodgers, and it didn't work out. I would have liked to see that. I really would.
You think he's going to be good in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I don't like that. I really think that is a very strange marriage. I think Rodgers has more left than people think. Let's be honest. He had more drops than anybody in the league. He was on a team that had no coaching, had no offensive line coaching. And if they didn't have the drops they had in the end zone, he would have had 35 touchdown passes. What's that bad? Let me tell you the next time you'll see a Jet quarterback throw 35 touchdown passes, okay? He is still Aaron Rodgers. Now, I understand they thought that he was only throwing to the guys he wanted to throw to. He froze out guys. Nonsense. He just wanted to get the ball in the end zone. I don't buy that for a second. He went where he thought the ball could be caught. That's the bottom line. Now, did he do everything perfect? No. He also played hurt early in the season, but I think he's still got a bunch left. I really do.
All right, we started the show talking about baseball. Obviously, we're talking with Mike Francesa, a man who needs no introduction. You know his voice, long time, obviously, here on The Fan. He built this freaking place live from the Mike Francesa studios.
That's a long time ago, Sal.
Not really that long.
Nobody cares about 1980. I know that. See, I'm a smart 70-year-old. I understand no one cares about 1987. I understand that. Hey, I'm very proud of what we did. I'm very proud of what the Fan did, what Dog and myself did, what the station has done, and I wish the station nothing but the best. But it's always about the present. Just like baseball, it's always about the present. It's nice to honor the past, but it's always it's your time. It's not my time anymore. It's your time.
Well, my time might be up. Cart might be coming back.
Not you personally. I meant you, the station. I didn't mean you, Sal. You'll be running in and say, Mike said I should run the station. I mean, Mike said I'm the guy. I mean, that's you'll be running off crazy. No, I mean you as the whole station. I think it's your time, not mine.
Yeah, well, Cart might be coming back. Are you coming back at all? Do we need to worry about that?
No, I'm not coming back. I don't know who's coming back, but I can tell you this, I'm not coming back. I promise.
All right, how about the Mets? I'm not as worried as everybody else. Where are you at with the Mets right now?
A little surprised by the recent slump. The Mets fool me a lot. I mean, when I think they're going bad, they'll play well. And when I think they're about to run something off, they play lousy. Listen, they made some good moves at the trade deadline. Their bullpen is really good now. You don't know it yet because the team hasn't kicked in. Now, one thing that's a big problem is you can't have just one pitcher who can get into the sixth inning. They don't have another pitcher on that team, which is mind-boggling, who has made it through the sixth inning this year. Only Peterson has gone 6 innings this year on that team. And Peterson, for the most part, except the 3 right before the All-Star break, has pitched really well. But their bullpen is improved. The problem is they haven't hit consistently or as a group all year. One guy gets hot, the other guys go cold. They haven't kicked in. Here's what I would do with the Mets. Okay, and I'm disappointed in Soto's play. He hasn't been nearly as good. I'm only judging from the plate. I don't care about his right field. I don't care about his stolen bases. At the plate, he has not been the same player. He has not made contact as well, and he has been terrible in big spots. Now, leads league in walks. He's got 26 homers. The year is salvageable, okay? And for other people, it's a good year, but he's not other people. He's one of the premier offensive players in baseball. He needs to get a hot streak and carry the team in the big innings, and they all need to hit at the same time. They need to get Lindor. I'm not worried about Alonso. They need to get Lindor, Nimmo, and Soto, and Vientos. He is maybe the key to the team down the stretch. Here's what I would do if I were the manager. I would play McNeil every day at second base, and I would DH Vientos. I would not fool around with him. Let him play every day. Let him sink or swim. And this is what you tell him. You tell him what Joe Torre always told the player who was having a bad year. Hey, you can't catch your regular stats now. You can't catch last year's stats now. Turn this year around right now. Finish red hot. Carry into the postseason, and you can still have a big, meaningful year. Forget what has happened already. Start now. And that's what Vientos has to do. I think what happens with a young player is he all of a sudden, I can't do this. I can't get here. I can't do this. Okay? Yeah, that year's gone. You can't do that. Finish strong. And they really need him in a big way. But they need Manaea and Senga to pitch like they're supposed to pitch down the stretch. Their bullpen's going to be terrific. I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't know if they'll beat the Phillies. Phillies are good. I think a big key is Wheeler hurt. I know they backed him up a couple of days. If he's hurt, that's a big, big hit to the Phillies.
Yeah, it's so different with the Mets because they have the players for years. It's go get the players, go get the players. They have the players. Now they just got to do their job. Whereas with the Yankees, maybe a little bit of a different story.
Hey, they have the best back of the bullpen in baseball now. So.
Yeah, Helsley and Diaz, I mean, that's as good as it gets right there. So you just can't wait to see you get unleashed.
I mean, hey, give them leads and they'll close the door. I mean, that will happen. But the Mets have not hit as a group all year, and Soto has been terrible late in game. Absolutely terrible. And I don't care. I mean, I can't believe anybody made a big deal about his home run yesterday. Who the hell cares?
Oh, but it's an embarrassment. But the end of the no-hitter.
I don't care if they get no-hit or not. That's not anyone who calls that a big home run is an idiot, okay? I mean, the bottom line is, how is that a big home run?
Yeah, well,
do you think that's going to motivate the team that they scored a run?
Maybe
they didn't get no hit.
Maybe
Who
he gets
cares if a team? No one cares if a team gets no hit. They got no hit when they went to the World Series. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares if you get no hit. Doesn't make any difference. You go to the next day. They ran into a hot pitcher yesterday. Had great stuff.
I wouldn't say it was a big hit. I didn't, but I did not want the Mets to get no hit. That would have been embarrassing.
Why? Who cares?
Well, can I be honest with you?
Move on to the next game. Move on to the next game.
I didn't want to be looked at as a jinx. We had Mendy on the show yesterday. If they got no hit the day that he came on with me, I'd probably never get him on again.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I don't know why he talks to you anyway, to be honest with you, but I mean,
what about the Yankees?
You want Soto to get a hit when they're down 3-2
right,
and the bases are loaded. That's when you want a base hit. Yesterday's hit you can have. You know what? If anyone gets excited by that, good. I was surprised the fans were booing as early in the game as they were. They were booing very early in the game yesterday because I watched a lot of the game yesterday, and they were booing early in the game. They really were.
They were ready to go, obviously not having with the Mets in their losing streak. What about the Yanks here? Yeah. The calls have been about firing Boone, this or that. For me, it's more of a culture issue.
Listen, I think Boone's done a bad job, and their fundamentals and their situational baseball is atrocious. They won't fire Boone. I'm just telling you right now, everybody I talk to who knows and I still talk to people who know in that organization, and they're not going to fire him. It's just not going to happen. So if that's what you're holding out for, I don't care what happens. Boone's finishing. Now, if they don't make the playoffs, would I give you the 100% Boone's back next year, despite the contract? No, I don't think he will be. But he's going to get this year 100%. I'd be stunned. And everyone I talk to says that who's there, says he will not get fired. Now, the roster, they made some good moves, but they made too many moves. You can't rebuild the entire team at the trade deadline, okay? That just showed you how perplexed they are. The roster still is ridiculously awful in terms of balance. They have 4 DHs. If you count Judge as a DH now, and I don't know how much he can play in the outfield, and if he gets a twinge, he's going to DH. Now, and he's not going to learn first base this year, sorry. Now, with that the case, they have 4 DHs. They have him, Stanton, Rice, and Dominguez, who is still a DH, okay? Because anytime he goes out there, the ball can hit him right between the eyes. We all know that, okay? So they have 4 DHs. They have 1 catcher. If you play Rice at first base, which you want to do against a tough righty or against all righties the way Goldschmidt hits against righties, you want to play Goldschmidt late in the game for defensive purposes, and you want to play him all the time against lefties. So if a lefty comes in the 7th inning, you put him in for Rice. But if you play Rice at first, you don't have a backup catcher. How can you not have a backup catcher on your team? You got him at first base. You can't put him at first base a lot now because they don't have another catcher on the roster except Rice. That makes no sense. Why do they need 2 extra guys? They don't need 2 utility guys. They need 1. One of them's got to go. If you want to keep the base stealer, keep him. Rosario's not a bad baseball player, but there's no way they're both going to play on this team. Now, there's no room in the outfield if Judge is hurt, and if Judge isn't hurt, and if Judge is hurt, there's no room for Stanton to play anywhere. You can't put Stanton in the outfield. He's a statue. He can't play in the outfield. He can still hit, though. He's had 10 homers and 27 RBIs in his last 100 at-bats. The guy has to be the DH. Rice has to be the left-handed platoon at first. They got to get an extra catcher, get rid of one of the utility guys, and play the right guys in the outfield. Don't play Bellinger anywhere but in the outfield because it's a negative when he doesn't play in the outfield. You can play him anywhere in the outfield, but he's got to play the outfield. Grisham has to play 80% of the time, minimum. I don't care how much Dominguez plays. Grisham has to play. Bellinger has to play every day. Judge has to be in there every day, and Rice has to be in there against right-handed pitching. Goldsmith comes in late in the game for defense. They have to carry another catcher. Now they have a ton in the bullpen, and they finally moved to the right closer. Forget Williams. Williams doesn't want to be here. I'm telling you, he won't be here next year. He shouldn't be here. I don't think he likes it here. He looks like a guy who is a deer in a headlight every time he goes to the mound. He's given up on the mound. As soon as that ball was missed, you could see him sulking. His shoulders dropped. You could see how he was on the mound. He didn't fight through it at all. They got the right closer now. They have tons of depth in the bullpen right now. Yes, it will be nice if Heel can still pitch. It will be criminal if they don't make the playoffs. But this roster is so bad in terms of baseball balance. It still needs to be balanced at this late date. That's how bad it is.
So don't you think that that's on Brian Cashman and it dates back years?
Yes.
It's not a one-year thing.
Yes. But Cashman's not going anywhere. He's part of the family.
Well, then how things going to change? I mean, they could keep saying the results.
They went to the World Series last year.
I know, but they got embarrassed in the World Series.
They went to the World Series last year. They couldn't, despite losing and being embarrassed by the Dodgers, they couldn't make any more money if they tried. Okay? If they make the playoffs and they go around deep into the playoffs, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. The Yankees make, all they care about is how much money they make. If they make the playoffs and they don't win the World Series, they're ready to go the next year. And the owner will say, we didn't have Cole, Judge got hurt. He's already got his excuses made for this year. So they're already typed up. They're on a piece of paper. Cole got hurt. Keel got hurt, Judge got hurt, and that's it. We didn't win. Sorry, we'll be back next year. Okay, make sure you buy your tickets. Okay, make sure you put your signs in the outfield. That's all he cares about. Okay, we all know that. That's the bottom line, and they make money hand over fist. The roster is a malfunctioning mess. You can't have 4 DHs and no extra catcher on your roster. And that's ridiculous. I love McMahon, play him every day. I don't care. He gets clutch hits. He's not going to hit 300. He's going to battle against some lefties. He'll hit some home runs. He is a great glove. He stabilized the entire infield. And you've noticed how much better Volpe is since McMahon's been here, don't you? That's because of McMahon's presence and his experience. It's made it a ton better. Volpe can play up the middle. McMahon covers a ton of ground. He's a great third baseman. It's made things a ton better on the infield.
You ever just call dog and you guys talk New York sports?
Yeah, not much. We text.
Okay.
We text once, but I got to be honest. We don't text all the time. He's busy. I'm busy. You know, I got 3 kids in college. You know, I travel around sometimes. I mean, I still do my podcasts, and I like doing them after games, especially. I do them. They're very well received. I've done a couple of the things lately that I've gotten. You know, the Superman review was crazy. The Giant thing was crazy. I mean, the responses have been, insane. People are calling me up, offering me jobs I don't want. I mean, but, you know, hey, I have fun with it. I still enjoy doing it. I like being able to verbalize. Do I want to go to Hudson Street every day? No, thank you. I mean, I don't want to spend 4 hours in the car. I left my house the other day to go to the city to do the Eli thing. It took me 2 hours to get there by car. I'm like, thank God I don't do this every day. I mean, the city is a disaster to drive in. So I like not having to be there that much. I have a studio in the house. So, and once in a while I hear you knuckleheads on the radio when I'm in the car. And I hear you fighting with people and this and that, and they get your goat so easy, Sal. Callers can get your goat so easy.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
You haven't changed. You haven't learned one lesson I taught you all these years. You know that?
I tried.
You're still the same when I used to sit you down and say, Sal, maybe you should take a breath and think once before you talk once. Okay, but you haven't changed once in all these years. It's your blessing and your curse at the same time. But now I see you up for an Emmy in New York. Here's one thing, so I hate to burst your bubble. Everybody but the mailman has won a local Emmy.
I know.
Okay. Win a national Emmy, okay? The local Emmy. I had the show for 2 years. I won 2 local Emmys. Everybody but the mailman wins. It's like what do they call it with the kids? A participation award, the local Emmy, okay? There's 4 million categories. They just keep giving them out like pens.
I know, but I keep losing. I keep losing to Bill Pito. It's bothering me.
Bill Pito keeps beating you, huh?
2 in a row, Mike. Well, 2 in a row,
hey,
Bill Pito.
Did you get nominated this year?
I did. He's going to get me again. It's against Pito again.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Just you and Pito?
Yeah. Well, no, Pito, Gary Apple, Steve Gelbs, I think, are the others.
Oh, really? Not exactly Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Okay.
One more, Mike, because I want to get your thoughts on this. I've seen you do this on your podcast.
What's that?
Because there were some people, afternoon drive now, and that's always the spot I wanted. I was heartbroken not to be able to get the opportunity to go on afternoon drive.
What do you mean? Have you given up your quest?
No, absolutely. No, pedal to the metal. I'm still full bore. I mean, I'm happy to have a job, but I want the afternoon.
You put things that Evan can trip over, out in the hall, things like that,
You always said you don't want to be the guy to replace the guy, but maybe you could be a little bit after that. So I'm just waiting a little bit. But
no, Sal, you don't have to wait anymore. I tell you don't have to wait anymore. They've had enough guys. You don't have to wait anymore.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
You're not replacing Bear Bryant anymore. That's over with. Okay?
One of the guys on the afternoon show, Sean Morash, you may be familiar with, he was really upset with the Yankees for not having Clark Schmidt try to finish a no-hitter. Did you have?
Oh, please, Tony. Well, Sal, you're just teeing me up. I went off on that. Okay. The guy had a bad arm before the game. He's already now gone for the next year and a half. I mean, hey, okay, I don't even have to comment on that one, do I really? Okay.
No, but it would be fun if you did.
I mean, why people worry about things like no-hitters in the greater scheme of things, okay? I won't tell you who told me that when they let Santana pitch that no-hitter, which wasn't even a no-hitter, because we all know that there was a base hit in the game that was called wrong by the umpire, okay, which would have ended the whole thing for me if I were on the mound, because I know that was a fair ball. But biggest mistake they ever made, they said.
Well, it had to be TC. And by the way, Terry, I know we're going to be playing golf, and I can't wait to get out there and play golf.
I love Terry. Terry, here's the thing.
He wants to play. He wants to play. Francesa invited us out there.
I will play with Terry anytime. Let me tell you this. When he came to the Mets, all I heard was what a disaster he was to get along with, how hard he was going to be to interview, how the players hated him in his past managerial jobs, and he was a rigid SOB. He might have been one of the best. I would say if I'm listing the best guys I ever dealt with in all the years I was in New York, Terry Collins would absolutely be in the top 5, and he might be in the top 3. He is one of my all-time favorites, and he is a great guy. Not a good guy, a great guy.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. He says the same about you. I've had him plenty of times to get to.
I love Terry Collins, and he can play golf. I hear he's pretty good. He'll probably try to take my money, but I hear he's pretty good, though.
Oh, I haven't played with him, but I've heard about it. I just know this. He's a fun guy.
You guys say you're good, and you can't even get. I mean, you're hitting the ball 2 fairways over.
I know. I said you're good. I know I stink.
I'm not good. I'm a mediocre player, but you guys are dreadful.
BT,
Jerry's not bad.
Oh, BT thinks he's good. Jerry's good. BT thinks he's good.
I've never seen him play. Bring him along when we play. You said you wanted to play, so I'll shoot you a date. We'll play, and bring BT along. We'll see how good his game is.
Thank you, Mike. You're the best. We appreciate it.
Bye, Sal.
And there you have it. The legend, Mike Francesa. That was fun, wasn't it? Just sit back listening to that.